Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LeBears Casino on this Hump Day edition, Wednesday edition. It is July 2nd, 2025. Can't believe it's already July 2nd. June flew by, felt long, felt quick. We had 8 Rougarou home game in June. We had the Tigers winning the national championship. What a great run that was. We had the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend, one of the best we've ever had. And then now we're on to July. What does July have? Well, July's got 15 Rougarou home game, including 5 in a row starting this Thursday. Rougarou in action Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be off Monday and then have a home game on Tuesday. So a lot going on. By the way, speaking of next Tuesday, that's the Women's Hospital night at the ballpark. Absolutely free for everyone. Will be next Tuesday, sponsored by Women's Hospital. But this week, it's all about 4th of July, and we got a great fireworks show for you on the 4th of July. So if you're not at the beach, then come on out to watch the Rougarou play 7 o'clock first pitch on all those home games we just mentioned. Rougarou will have a great fireworks show in the middle of the 7th inning, around approximately 9:15. And some really cool red, white, and blue uniforms we'll be rocking, and hats and uniforms. Look for that today on social media. We'll be having a post. We're having an auction online for the jerseys. All the jerseys that the players and coaches wear will be auctioned off at the end of the game, and you can bid on it online. You don't have to be there. And all the profits go to the Baton Rouge Youth Baseball Coalition. Every single dime goes to the Baton Rouge Youth Baseball Coalition nonprofit. So help support that cause. Also in July, Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Atlanta. Oh, by the way, a brand new Walk-Ons restaurant opened up right outside of the Atlanta Stadium just last week. So that'll be rocking and rolling during the All-Star Game, which is Tuesday, July 15th. And just so happens the All-Star Game falls dead smack in the middle of SEC Media Days, which is the 14th through the 17th in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame, downtown Atlanta. So that's going to be pretty cool for all the folks covering the SEC Media Days. I'm sure a number of them will be at the All-Star Game.
Well, and that's going to be great for the SEC because the additional media who go into Atlanta to cover the All-Star Game, from the West Coast and up in the Northeast, are going to have, SEC Media Days, flying around their heads. So I think it's great for the SEC. I don't know if they planned it this way, but it's going to be it'd be a very hectic time in Atlanta, so we'll see how that goes.
Have you ever been?
Brian Kelly goes first. He's up first on that Monday the 14th. He's the first of the 16 coaches to speak. So Brian Kelly, first out the gate.
Do you have you been to the College Football Hall of Fame?
I have not, but I need to do that because I would enjoy it.
Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame is located walking distance from the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, right next to the Omni. Great Hall of Fame. I want to say the price tag on it to build it and everything at the time when it probably opened, I'm going to guess, Tommy, 10 years ago, feels right, about $75 million, which, of course, nowadays it'd be 100 plus. So it's really, really nice. I mean, a lot of interactive stuff. I mean, it's an amazing Hall of Fame. Even if you're not a giant football fan, you can get something out of it for sure. And it's multiple floors and just really, really neat. So definitely worth, if you find yourself in Atlanta for any reason, go to the College Football Hall of Fame. Well, the Rougarou have 15 home games, as we mentioned. All good things must come to an end. Another winning streak came to an end. Now the Rougarou 20-4. All 4 losses this year, Tommy, I want to say, are by 1 run. I'm not sure if the first. I don't know if the.
I think one loss was bigger.
1 loss, maybe. Okay,
but I have to look it up. But
last night was disgusting. If anybody watched the game or followed the game, the Rougarou out-hit the Brazos Valley Bombers on the road. They're playing again tonight against the Bombers. You can watch it on TexasCollegiateLeague.com or just go to our website, click on the schedule, and it'll just show you. Hit the Watch Now button. Out-hit their opponent, but had 4 errors, including the old in the park home run Little League, 2 errors in 1 play that led to a single turned into a homer. Disgusting. So anyway, A lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda in that game. Byron Robinson had 3 hits, including a homer in the ninth. Sutton Lewis had 2 hits, but too many strikeouts. 15 strikeouts for the Rougarou, only 4 walks. That's not like the Rougarou, who have lost a few players, a couple outfielders. The outfield looks very different. So some of these guys are going to have to improve, or we're gonna have to get some new guys in here. There's always that going on. Right now, the outfield play is pretty bad, but the infield play is good, and the pitching has been good all year. Last night, probably could have thrown couple more strikes, had 6 walks. That's a couple too many in a game, but really, it was just the 4 errors did the Rougarou in, and so they'll get back right tonight against the Brazos Valley Bombers. The transfer portal in college baseball is closed, meaning you can't get into the portal anymore. You had till the end of June. And so now all those folks that are in the portal are going to try to find a home or a new home. You'll see Jay Johnson signing players the month of July, bringing in recruits. Tell us a little bit about the activity, Tommy, as far as first, who's leaving LSU from the 40-man roster that the Tigers had, not counting guys that go pro or graduated?
Well, probably the biggest name with the guys got the most numbers across the board, outfielder Ashton Larson, who played a whole lot more 2 years ago than he did this past year. But he just can't find a spot in the outfield with, Jake Brown and Curiel and the rest of the people. Cade Woods, a right-handed pitcher, is gone. Mick Paul, limited, just 17 at-bats. Outfielder is gone. Mickey Ryan, infielder, has already gone to NC State. He didn't play much at all. Chandler Dorsey is going to go to Central Florida. He was he had a 5.40 ERA, just 5 appearances for LSU. Blaze Priester, who's a Rougarou catcher, is going to go to Southeastern, play for Bobby Barbier and the Lions. He only had 7 at-bats. So, there's not Dylan Thompson, Rougarou player, entering the portal as well. He was the number 1 player in Louisiana 2 years ago, right-hand pitcher. David Hogg ran a couple of times, going to go to Kansas, and Ryan Costello, who did not play, is going to go to Maryland. So that's who's out. The biggest name, Ashton Larson, who had more numbers than anybody, in particular 2 years ago. So he didn't do a whole lot this year.
Couple of names on that list that are surprises that it didn't work out at LSU. One, Dorsey, who's going to Central Florida. Remember, they got him out of the portal last year. He was a 30-something inning, big part of South Florida's bullpen in 24. Did not have success. Had a little bit of an arm thing that delayed his start into joining the regular season in 25. Just didn't have the command. And look, that LSU bullpen, for its struggles, because it wasn't a clean bullpen all year, just had some big arms, and Dorsey's velo not up there with the other guys, but really it's about the command. Didn't throw enough strikes. He'll be heading back to Florida, to Central Florida. Ashton Larson's a guy that's really a shame he's leaving, because, Tommy, he's a guy who's good enough to push next year to play, to start as a DH or to start in the outfield. Remember, this was a all-SEC outfielder as a freshman all-SEC outfielder his first year out of Overland Park, Kansas. And unfortunately for him, just got off to a really slow start. Did not have a good month of February. Had too many strikeouts. Had too many, runner at third, less than 2 outs. Didn't get him in. And LSU was just super deep in the outfield. Guys like Fry emerged, and of course you had Josh Pearson still there, and so he just and Jake Brown made a step forward, and so he just got put on the back burner. And he not a bad guy. He didn't do anything. Just other guys did better. I mean, I think he hit 240 for the year or something like that. Did have a big home run during the SEC. And I think had, different day and age where the portal's not available or NIL's not available or something like that, he stays, and I think he probably has a big year next year. I mean, Ashton Larson can really play. And unfortunately, he's going to be gone. And so that one I think hurts a little bit because you'd like to see him stay and compete. Obviously, Jake Brown and Curriell are going to be two of your three starters in the outfield next year, but the other spot's wide open, DH wide open. And you'd like to have seen Larson compete for that.
Yeah, you really would have, and I think he's a really good player. He just got caught up in the numbers game. You hit the key point. Ethan Fry's emergence is what helped him, not be able to DH or whatever, and just a handful of opportunities for him. So and aren't the rosters going from 40 to 35 next year or 34? So that's a few less spots that are available too. And every year Jay Johnson sits down, and I'm sure he talks to some of these guys and says, look, get in the portal because I don't have a spot for you next year. And if you're a player, you want to hear that. Then you come back thinking you might have a spot. I mean, Skip Bertman used to do that. Paul Maneri, Smoke Laval, they all did it. Sooner or later, somebody's got to go because you get somebody that's better. But I'm just going to defer to Jay Johnson and his staff. They constructed a pretty good roster this past year with only 12 returning guys. I can't believe they won't construct a good roster again.
Mikey Ryan leaving. Mikey Ryan was out of Rummel High School in New Orleans, number one shortstop in the state out of high school in 24. He's a guy that, look, it's hard. He's a guy that should not have been at LSU. Mikey Ryan in this day and age should have either said, I'm going to go junior college so that I have pro options and I have leverage and experience and can get 200 at-bats somewhere and be more valuable going into year two and ready to roll, plug and play. Or he should have picked a school where a lesser school than an SEC school where he could have been more guaranteed to play a lot, to really compete for a starting job. Because Mikey Ryan is a good player and talented player. But he was not going to play this year with Milam and Dickinson in the middle. He's a middle infielder. And unfortunately, he wasted a year as a in-state kid from Louisiana. It's hard to turn down wearing that purple and gold. But at the end of it, because the prestige that comes with it. He's in school with all these guys that he knows, and mom and dad and everybody, all the slapping of the back that everybody gets. But the reality is that Mikey Ryan sat the bench and got 2 or 3 at bats, and you burn a whole year, for that experience and that photo op. I hope it's worth it. He got a national championship ring out of it. But in this day and age where junior college baseball may or may not count, there's a lawsuit going on against your eligibility. I just think unless you are Milam, Curriell, and you're going to play right away wherever you go, junior college to me is the way to go, Tommy, because you have more chances, you have more options, more leverage, and it potentially is not going to count against your eligibility at the Division I level.
And if you can find the right junior college that's going to give you the at-bats, the innings pitch, whatever you do. And, there's so many junior colleges out there that, you got to be able to find one that will fit you, and I know junior colleges like to, move lineups around and get guys at-bats and all that. But still, if you can get in the right spot where you can get half of that playing time, then like you said, you got the leverage of the MLB draft. By the way, that comes up July 13th. That's another thing happened in July, the MLB draft. And, so you got to think it out. And, I agree with you. Everybody kids in Louisiana want to wear the purple and gold. They want to play at LSU. They want to play at Alex Box Stadium. But, it's not always the best decision, especially for somebody like that who, is not certainly going to have a spot.
So talk to me about who is coming in at this moment. Plenty more will be added this month, but who do you have signed up to come to LSU in the portal?
Well, I guess there's a lot of pitching coming in, which obviously you got to have pitching. And I'll start with Santiago Garcia, a lefty from the University of Oregon, high school teammate of Stephen Milam's, 4.20 ERA out there at Oregon. That's a good program. They played a tough schedule. And, that was only his second year, and he's going to head to LSU. Ryler Smart, another left-handed pitcher, redshirted at Tennessee this past year. Did not pitch, but he was number 25 left-hander in the nation coming out of school in 2024. So, something that Jay Johnson sees. Another left-handed pitcher. First 3 guys are left-handed pitchers. Danny Lashenmeyer, North Dakota State. pitched in the box when the Bison were here earlier this year. He had a 2.37 ERA in 38 innings as a freshman before trying to come to Baton Rouge. He's a left-hander that forces a lot of swings. 13 strikeouts per 9 innings this past year. Seth Dardar, who's from the North Shore, Mandeville, going to play, went to Kansas State, had decent numbers at Kansas State, big on base percentage. Infielder, he played DH first and second at Kansas State. So Seth Dardar is coming in to be an infielder. And third baseman Braden Simpson from High Point College. He had 37 home runs in 3 years there. Third base, position of need for LSU. He also played a little first base in 2024. So that's who's coming in as of right now. I expect a lot of that to change here in the month of July.
Yeah, those last two hitters you just mentioned, veteran guys, very experienced, a lot of college ABs. Dardar had a big game against LSU when they played him in February over in Arlington, and so that doesn't surprise me. By the way, no relation to Chase Dardar, the former LSU pitcher who's a State Farm insurance agent down in New Orleans. I actually texted with Chase back in February when he was playing against LSU and going off, and he said, no relation. The young man from North Dakota State, Laschenmeyer, is that how you say it, Tommy?
Yes.
I actually remember watching him throw. I think I might have done the game against LSU and remember thinking that guy LSU's going to take note on him, knowing he was only a freshman and North Dakota State, you're probably going into portal if you have a pretty good year and going to be, so that's kind of funny how those things work. Two former players, Dardar and Laschenmeyer, both end up that went against LSU and did well, are now going to be in Baton Rouge next year. And that's how it is. I've talked to the LSU coaches about that. They're definitely over there in the dugout taking note when they face a team and like an arm and they look down there and go, he's only a freshman or a sophomore. They definitely are like, we'll keep an eye out for him in the portal. But plenty more activity will happen. This isn't it. I mean, this is July 2nd. I mean, if you think back to LSU, I want to say like Gage Jump and some of those guys were signed like mid-July, late July. Yeah. So, and speaking of Gage Jump, he and Tommy White will be in the Futures game of the All-Star game on the 14th of July over in Atlanta.
And you got some LSU signees that may get taken on the July 13th MLB draft and not end up on campus. So it's going to be a busy back half of July. After the MLB draft concludes, Jay Johnson and his staff got doubling up on the work to finish constructing that roster that they'll, jump into fall practice with.
All right, so come on out this weekend, Thursday through Saturday. The Baton Rouge Rougarou are in action at home all 4 nights, 7 p.m. first pitch. Fireworks on Friday, Thursday, 2-for-1, Thursday special, 2-for-1 on all beers. Saturday, beat the clock from 6 to 7, half price concessions from 6 to 6:30, 25% off from 6:30 to 7. So come on out there. You should see 6 to 6:30, Tommy. It's funny. The visiting team, not so much the Rougarou, the visiting team who's already finished up BP and and all that. They usually are crashing the concession line to get some food prior to the 7:05 first pitch because of half price concession prices on Saturdays from 6 to 6:30. So definitely take a cue from them.
I got an idea for you. How about visiting team 3-for-1 price on beers?
There you go.
Get them
like
3-for-1. I think we should allow the visiting team players 3-for-1 on beers prior to the game. I mean,
and then Sunday we have a 4 for $40 package. For a family of 4, it's four people for $40. You get 4 tickets. You get 4 hamburgers or hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for $40. So you can't beat that.
This Friday night, red, white, and blue unis and hats. I mean, can I get a hat out of the deal or what?
I mean, TK, I'll sell you one at $5 over cost. I mean, these things, these hats are a little expensive. They'll be a little more expensive at the merchandise sale. Getting last minute red, white, and blue hats custom made weren't easy.
Well, I need another hat. Like I need a hole in my head, and you probably have more hats than I, because I did a hat thing about a year and a half ago when I moved where I'm at. I did a hat thing. If I hadn't worn it in a while and it was a little racked out, it went into the dumpster, So
Yeah.
I did the hat thing a year and a half ago, but I got to support the Rougarou.
I tell you, Tommy, I do a purge about once every probably year or two as far as my hat collection goes, and it's like I don't know. The hats are like one, socks. Where do they go? How did they get there? Yeah, I don't know, but I got tons of them, and somehow there's an emotional connection to every hat, and you hate to throw them away.
Well, that's what, when I was at the Players Championship this year, I got you and I a hat. And then I got myself some of them little marble coasters that have the players' logo, and they're on my coffee table. They look great. But I'm like, I don't need a hat. I don't need a hat. But this is the players, and I'm there. It's not like I ordered it in the mail.
Right.
I was there and got it. And then I got you one because you've gotten me hats in the past, but you've went places. So I said, hey, Ronnie's going to have another hat. It's going to be a Players Championship.
It'll be worn on the golf course, that's for sure.
All right, Ronnie, that's cool. All right, so a lot of Rougarou. We'll be back Friday morning, even though it's July 4th. Tremonti's are going to be open, and we will be here to do show. Tremonti's will be open 4th of July because you can get all your 4th of July needs: the meat, the seafood, the ribeye rolls, the shrimp rolls, all the wine and bourbon and vodka and tequila that you might want. It's all here. And don't forget today, $6.99 burger and fries. That's every Wednesday. You can eat it here or get it to go at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. And again, all of your 4th of July needs, small thing, party platter. You got to bring a plate platter to somewhere you're going where you're having people coming over. Tremonti's can take care of it all. Stop by on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, and you'll be glad you did. Don't forget this Saturday, radio will be at Leola's Cafe and Coffee House in Mid-City, Government Street, Baton Rouge. Fantastic place. Fantastic. Went there last month for radio. Highly recommend it. Come join us this Saturday. Hunter McCann and I will be there. Ronnie will be on the phone. Leola's Cafe and Coffee House in Baton Rouge. Don't forget to like and share this show, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or X. We appreciate it. That helps everybody involved. Like and share. We're back Friday morning for another episode of Sports Shows Daily. Have a great day and a good Wednesday, everyone.